My name is Mark English. I'm a Crime Prevention Design Advisor with Warwickshire Police. This section of the DVD is looking at home and garden security. Nationally, burglaries are on the decrease. However, when you do become a victim of crime, it can be devastating. If you put some of these measures in place, you will decrease your chance of becoming a victim of a domestic burglary. The first section we'll look at is the actual front of the house, starting with the garden. What we must do is stress what is private and what is public space. By having a change of ground material and having a fence, you can clearly see that the footpath is public and the front garden and drive is private. Going up to the front of the house, you can clearly see that there is a gate on the side of the house which, if it's locked, will deter the offender, and again, if he needs to gain access, he's got to start climbing. What you will see though, unfortunately, is that there's wheelie bins. This can be used as a climbing aid. What I would stress is that these are in the back garden, out of the way. Quite often people ask me, how do I prevent a crime? What I say is stand at the front of your house, look, imagine you've lost your keys, how would you gain access? If everything is locked and secured, obviously the front will be a secure environment. The rear of the garden is very important indeed, because this is normally the vulnerable point, because your neighbours etc. can't see what's happening. You want to consider using close board 1.8 fencing, and if need be, or if you can do it, put trestling on top so it takes up to 2 metres. If you can't do that, you want to consider using pricker strips such as this. It's a plastic compound. What you do is you screw it to the top of your fence, but it hurts when you try to put any body weight on it, and that way then you'll keep the offenders out of your back garden. Out in the rear of the garden, I would also consider using good quality lighting. Dusk to dawn lighting would be best, because normally if you have PRI lighting, it goes on and off the time, so every time there's a cat in the garden it keeps going off. So dusk to dawn would be best suited. As stated, garden security is very important. Access to the side of the house via gates is the usual way that people gain entry. Security on these is very important. As you can see, there are a number of measures here. We've got a straightforward sliding bar, or in this case we've also got a padlock alarm fitted. This works off movement, and if the gate does get rattled, you get a straightforward beep like that. However, if they do persist, the alarm will then go off. Shed security is very important. A lot of people become lazy and they don't bother locking their sheds. In this case, they've got the sliding bolt lock, similar to what we had on the back gate, good quality system. However, if you don't use that, I would recommend a good quality hasp with padlock. In the shed here, we've got a mounting bar fitted. It's actually bolted to the concrete and to the shed. And as you can see, we've got a good quality chain and padlock. Reason for this is if you've got the likes of a push bike or a lawnmower, anything of that nature can be chained to it and it keeps it secure. All tools and everything you actually keep in your shed, I would recommend you have it security marked, whether it be by Smart Water or another forensic product, or you can overtly mark it using Creed Mark. Any equipment you do have security marked, I would recommend that you put up appropriate signage letting people know that your property is marked. It acts as a good visual deterrent. Door security is very, very important. What I say for this French door will apply for standard back doors and front doors. In UPVC doors, what you're looking for is a multi-locking function, i.e. when you lift the handle up, you've got multi-locking points to ensure that your door remains secure. If you're going to actually buy new doors, ask your supplier that they meet the quality of PAS 24. That's PAS 24, PAS 24. That's a minimum security standard. One of the other problems we've got is Euro locks being snapped. Now, this is this locking on the cylinder. If you've got any doubts in relation to what type of Euro lock you got fitted, have a chat with your local master locksmith and he'll be able to advise you suitably. Now, if you've actually got wooden doors, you may not have this function, but what I would recommend is that you have fitted a good 5-lever mortise lock. This will ensure that your doors remain secure. Window security is very important again, whether you've actually got UPVC or wooden doors. What I would recommend on UPVC is you've got a multi-locking point. It's either 2 or 3 points. Again, it'll keep your window nice and secure. However, if you haven't got this fitted, fit standalone locking points. You can either fit 2 or 3, whichever, whether it be this type of window, which is UPVC, or in fact a wooden window frame. Within Warwickshire, our preferred property marking system is Smartwater, and obviously you can see we've got a sample of the pack here. In it you've got your Smartwater itself. Now each solution inside is unique, so the DNA makeup of this is unique, so you will never get more than one the same. You've got your window stickers here, which obviously go onto your windows, but then you've got the smaller stickers to go onto items which you've marked up. And then you've got a registration form, which obviously you've got to complete and send straight off to Smartwater, so you can go onto their database. The Smartwater itself, I say, comes in here. All you simply do is undo it, and then you can see a little brush, and you just mark up your property. And then to make sure that the item is marked correctly, just go along it, and you can see it's quite clear. There's another way of marking your property. You can actually use a UV pen, and it's the old method. Again, all you do is undo it and just mark along. And again, it's another covert method of marking your property. There is another method of doing it, and that's overtly. Obviously, this is for demonstration purposes only. It's quite big, but as you can see, it's a good visual overt deterrent, and that's using a product called Creedmark. Once you've marked your property, whether it be using Smartwater, Creedmark, or even a UV pen, what I'd recommend is you actually compile a list of exactly what property you've marked and where you've marked it, and with serial numbers, and if hopefully with photographs as well. So if it is needed in the future by the police or your insurance company, we've got a complete audit trail. Letterbox phishing is an issue which is a national and a local problem. What's happening is they're putting something through your letterbox to grab and find, or grab your keys for your car. That way then they'd have to break into the house to take them. One of the ways actually deterring that is to put a letterbox guard over your letterbox, and it literally screws on like that. And the idea being, obviously, your letters will drop straight to the floor, but it stops anybody from putting anything through your letterbox, whether it be a coat hanger or a clothes prop, anything of that nature. In respect to keys, keep them out of sight, don't hide them, because if somebody does break in, you don't want to be woken up by a burglar when they'd want your keys. So just keep them out of sight, but don't hide them. The next short section is about scene preservation. If you unfortunately do become a victim of a burglary, what we would ask you is that you don't move anything, wipe anything down, just don't clean anything at all. Contact the police immediately, and that way then we can see exactly what has happened, what has been moved, what has possibly got fingerprints, even footprints. If you do find any footprints outside and the weather is a bit adverse, we would ask you to cover it up, so that way then we can get an impression. But the main thing is, please don't move anything or clean anything up. Contact the police and get us there immediately. On arrival at your house, if you think the offenders are possibly still in the house, please don't enter. Contact the police straight away and let them deal with it. But the one thing I would stress is that if you do come home and you find that everything has been moved about, don't touch anything. Let the scenes of crime officers and the officers attending do their job. All the crime prevention products you've actually seen through this DVD, you'll be able to pick up from the North Warwickshire Neighbourhood Watch. The actual website address you'll find at the end of the DVD.